Hello and thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Sasha Reed and tonight I've got another quick fun tutorial for you that shouldn't take you any longer than a few minutes. Getting started, I've got two pieces of card. I've got a topper and my card base. So my card base is just a standard A6 card, and I've got my topper which is cut to about a centimeter smaller on both edges, so like half a centimeter on each side. I'm going to take a piece of cardstock. This is really thin cardstock, so about 200 GSM or lighter. I'm going to take my word sentiments. Now, if you haven't got words, don't stress. I'm going to share another version with you by the end of what you can do if you have not got word dies. So this will work with any word dies that you've got. I'm going to use this little set here. It's one of my favorites. Works a dream for almost everything. It's got every sentiment in there, and it comes with matching stamps, and it comes with an outline, which is really fun. I'm just focusing on the words I've cut out just for you. I'm going to keep that scrap bit of paper. Don't chuck it. Keep that. We're going to use it again in a minute. We're going to stick our topper into a stamp platform, and I'm going to use a background stamp. Now, if you haven't got a background stamp, you could just use several normal stamps and just stamp them down and make your own little background. But for simplicity and fast, I'm going to use this background stamp, which is not available anymore, by the way. I had a look and it is nowhere to be found. So any background stamp will do. This one just happened to be in my collection. I hadn't used it yet, so I'm going to go ahead and use that. I'm using a grey Versafine Clair Ink. I want a nice grey because I don't want it to be too overpowering and in your face. So this is kind of like the lighter version of black, essentially, which is what a grey is. But I don't want it to be too bold, which is why I'm using the grey rather than a black. You can use black, but I like this grey look. So I've gone ahead and stamped that down. Now, because I used the paper rather than like the more paper cardstock rather than a thick card, I can stamp over that image and it will leave me that shadow behind. So that's what we're going for here. I gave a nice good firm press down on my stamp platform and I got this beautiful clear image all around where those words are. Now I'm going to bring back in that bit of scrap paper that we didn't want to throw away, or cardstock I should say, and I'm going to line it right up over top of where the words were. And then I'm going to tape it down with some low tack tape. So any low tack tape will do. Make sure it is not too sticky. You don't want to wreck your hard work of stamping and have that come up. Now I've got picked raspberry, carved pumpkin, peacock feathers, and those are the three colors I'm going to use purely because they were already on my desk and I had them out for another project. So I'm going to do some quick simple ink blending with some finger daubers. I just stick the ink down and go back and forth a couple times just to get that color nice and blended, but honestly this took me about a minute to do. Then I can go and do the reveal, pull off my tape, and you get to see this gorgeous pop of color without having had to do any extra die cutting or hard work. Now, of course, there are the little holes, I don't know what they're called, but we want those to stand out, otherwise it just looks like a big bunch of blurred words. So this is where I'm going to take my white gel pen and I'm just literally going to color in the holes. So I laid that die cut back on top, colored those bits in, and then it looks perfect. I don't know, I was really happy with this. Sometimes I surprise myself, and this is one of those times where I'm like, yeah, this is fun, this worked. So that is our card, and all we have to do is stick it on top of our card base. Because I cut the card a little bit smaller, we've got that beautiful white border, which goes really nice with the white like in the background of our stamped image. Just to make sure I didn't smudge that writing there, I put a piece of scrap card over top and gave it a firm rub. Now, if you don't have any kind of word dies, you can go ahead and use a basic shape. You could cut yourself a rectangle, or you could use a die set like this where it's got some basic shapes and do the exact same thing. You're going to cut out that image. You're going to stick it in the middle, stamp over it with a background stamp, and then you can stamp your sentiment in the middle. So I did use some of this low tack tape, which is from scrapbook.com. You do have to be careful because the ink is juicy and the paper is thin. But because this background stamp was so intricate and my panel was so much bigger than those little words, I really struggled to get a nice crisp, clear image right up to the edge of my die cut. So that's why I use the thinner paper, but you do have to be careful, it will leak through a little bit. I don't mind that little bit of spotting, it looks fine to me. And I just went ahead and traced it with a white gel pen to kind of make it pop just a little bit more off the card. But there's two quick simple ideas for you that you can have a go with. I hope you have fun with this one, and I would love if you liked and subscribed to my channel if you enjoy my tutorials, and I look forward to seeing you on Saturday night for some Saturday night crafting. Take care. Bye.